Hello everybody, and once again welcome to Ubuntu for Beginners video course by TechLair. To this point, we have provided detailed instructions on getting the most from Ubuntu's basic features. In this chapter, we'll detail some of Ubuntu's most advanced features like the terminal, a powerful utility that can help you accomplish tasks without the need of the graphical user interface. We'll also discuss some advanced security measures you can implement to make your computer even more safer. So what actually is a terminal? Most operating systems, including Ubuntu, have two types of user interfaces. The first is a GUI. This is a desktop, windows, menus, and toolbars you click to get things done. The second, much older type of interface is the command line interface, also known as the CLI. The terminal in Ubuntu is the CLI for Ubuntu. It's a method of controlling some aspects of Ubuntu using commands that you type on your keyboard. So you go to the dash and you type in term and you can find the terminal. The terminal gives you access to what is called a shell. When you type the command in the terminal, the shell interprets this command resulting in the desired action. Different types of shells accept slightly different commands. The most popular is called the bash and is the default shell in Ubuntu. You can call the terminal as an equivalent to your command prompt in Windows. So this is the terminal. By default, when you open terminal, it is logged in with your default with your logged in user, and come it is directly redirected to your home directory. So we will see some things which are related to the terminal here. So the first thing here is the username which I'm logged in. The second one with the @ is the name of the machine, or you can call it as the host name. The tilde indicates that you are in the home directory of your user, and that is the, if I type in ls-l, which is used to list the files of the current directory, you can see the files which are present into my home directory. You can type in pwd to print the working directory. /home/techlair is the working directory. So now we'll see something which is known as the file system, the hierarchy of your Ubuntu. Clear is used to clear your screen, and I'll list the contents of the slash directory. So this is your directory. After the colon, the directory, the path which is shown is your current directory. If I press CD, it will go to my home directory. So if I list it, the tilde will denote home directory. If I go into some another directory, so it will give me slash tilde. It is my home directory, tilde slash, and the directory which I am currently into. CD is used for changing the directories, and to move a step backward in your directory, you need to press CD dot dot slash. So you will be one directory behind, and CD is used to change your directory. So first, we'll cover these topics later. First, we'll cover the file system. So I'll go into the root directory of the Ubuntu. Ubuntu uses Linux file system, which is based on a series of folders in the root directory. These folders contain important system files that cannot be modified unless you are running as a root user or a sudo. So here we'll begin a discussion of Ubuntu file system structure. At the top, also known as the root directory. The root directory, by default, the root user is not, the password of the root user is not set up. So first what you will need to do is set up a root password. So the command to set up the root password here is sudo space passwd space root. So first it will ask for my user password. I'll set in password. I'll type in the new user password for my root user, and I have successfully changed my root user. Now to change the user using the terminal, you need to su space hyphen space the username. Type in the password and you are logged in. So once you're logged in, you can see that you're logged in with the root user on the same machine. Now by default, when you switch the user, you are into the user's home directory. So the user's home directory means the root's home directory is the slash root. So I'll go to the top directory, which is slash, which is also known as root. Please don't get confused. Slash is the root directory and slash root is the home of the root user. So we'll see all the directories which are present here in the root. The first important directory is the sbin and the bin. Many essential system applications which are equivalent to your C Windows are placed in the slash bin and the slash sbin. Now another important directory is etc. etc is a system-wide configuration files. You have all the configuration files related to Ubuntu present in slash etc. Now slash home, each user will have a subdirectory to store potential files. For example, slash home slash what will be your username. If I go to go to home and I list it, I have two users and I have the subdirectories of that users inside it. You can compare this with C users of Windows or C documents and settings of the Microsoft Windows. And again, if I go to the root directory, I have the slash lib. Slash lib contains all the library files. It is similar to .dll files on Windows. The slash media contains all removable devices. If you connect any USB or any other thing, it will be mounted on a slash media mount point. Slash user is also one another important directory. It contains most program files. This is equivalent to C program files in Windows. And you have a var. If I go to var and having a log folder inside it, all the your log files of the application will be stored into slash var slash log. So this was all the directory structure of Ubuntu or any Linux system. This will be shared along with every Linux system. These directories will be present even in Red Hat, Fedora, any other Linux operating system. So we will cover some basic aspects of terminal, such as changing directories. To change a directory, to list all the first we'll cover the list function. List command ls-l will list all the files and folders inside your current directory. Now to start with, the first thing is the permissions. So your permissions are shown on the extreme left. Starting D denotes it's a directory. After 3 denote the 3 characters denotes the permissions for your user. 3 characters denotes permissions for your group and 3 characters for others. This is your username and this is your group name. We'll cover users and groups in the coming section, and this is your file or a directory name. So to change directories, you just need to find cd and click on bin. So this will change your directory. To clear the screen, just find clear, just as you type cls in your Windows. So ls-l will list the contents. To come back to your previous directory, just type cd // and to copy files, I'll create 2 blank files for this demonstration. I have 2 files. If I want to copy this into any directory, I'll type in cp for copy 1 and I'll place this in, say, home TechLair. So this will copy file 1 into home and the path. So it's there 1. So this actually will copy the file name 1 and it will copy it into this path. This is actually the path where I'll be copying this file. Now when you're copying an entire directory, for example, if I want to copy the entire lib directory, so I need to give one option -r. type in lib, give the path of directory, so it will take some time to copy all the files into /TechLair. So please keep this in mind that if you're copying a directory, you will have to use -r, which is for recursive. To move the files, you need mv and the path of your directory which you're copying. If I list the files here, I will not see the second file which I have moved into this location. So here you can see a second file is also copied here. So this was copying the files, changing the directories. You can print the working directory using the command pwd, and you also have a command line text editor, which is the most powerful text editor, which is known as vi. If I can type in vi1, if I open the file, it will open it in vi. So vi, this is the interface for your vi. By pressing I, you can get into the insert mode and you can start typing whatever you want. Once you're done with it, you need to press escape, which gets the UI into the command line mode, and you need to press the colon WQ to write the changes and quit the file. So if I want to open again vi1, I'm into the command mode, I'll press I to insert the text or press escape to enter into the command mode. So here you can, if you want to delete some file, you need to get into the command mode and press X to delete the particular text. Now I'll quit it. So this was your command line text editor, and it's a very powerful tool to work on the files. If you want to change any configuration files, you will be using the VI editor. Now the next important section is securing your Ubuntu. Just because Ubuntu implements a strong security model by default doesn't mean the user can throw the caution to the wind. Care should always be taken while downloading files, opening email, browsing the internet. Using a good antivirus program is warranted as well. First, we'll be covering some permissions in Ubuntu. In Ubuntu, files and folders can be set up so that only specific user can view and modify or run them. So before going to permissions, I'll show you how to add users and groups. So user is nothing but it's a user which will be logging in and doing some changes. By default, Ubuntu comes with one user and a root user, but the default user which you create, and second is the root user. So if I have to create a user can have a group. Multiple users can be combined to a group. So first we'll see how to add a user. To add a user to the command line, you need to add user space the name of the user. So I'll type in the username. So it will ask me for a password to set up for this particular user. I'll type in the password. It will ask me some values such as full name. You can leave this as it is, room number, work phone number, anything. And after that it will ask for a confirmation. So I'm having a user Abdul created now. I can switch to this user, type in sorry. So the one important thing is, if you are logged in with the root user, if you are switching a user, it will not ask you for a password. Root is the administrator of Ubuntu. So for root, it will not ask passwords if you want to log into other users. And your user add, your user delete, and any other function will be done from root itself. Any function, any administrative task in Ubuntu is done from the root user. So I'll exit from this user, and to delete a user, you just type user and the username. So this was how to create a user. Now how to create a group for this user. So it's group add. I'll add a group as sys1. So my group is created. Now if I want to add a specific user to that particular group, what I need to do is I need to use the command usermod space -g, the group name which I have created sys1, and the username. So if I log into the user and I can list the files, you can see that I am logged in with the user of this file as Abdul and the group is sys1. So now coming to permissions. So every file and folder in Ubuntu will be having permissions. So let's check how you can add and remove permissions to Ubuntu. So for this I'll be you can log in with any user, but make sure that the file which you are changing the user or permission, you have access to it. So for example, I'll create a file. I'll create a blank file. So the file 1, the first hyphen denotes if it's a directory or a file. For a directory, it will show as D. RW0, first three hyphens or first three characters are the permissions for the user. Another three are for group and another three are for other. So the RW defines R is for read, W is for write, and there will be one another character known as X for execute. So if I want to make this file executable for only the user, not for the group, not for any other thing. So what I'll do is the command is chmod. Now I'll add this for user. User. Now I want to add it, so I'll add a plus symbol, X and 1. So I'm adding a permission to user as executable. So if I list it, you can see that X is added, which denotes that I'm adding an executable permission to a file 1 to user. If I want to do it same for the group and other also, what I'll do is I'll add user, group and other for 1. So if I list it, you can see that the executable permission is added for user, for group and for other. If I want to remove this, I simply type hyphen minus sign, and if I list it, you can see that the executable permission is removed. So you have read, you have write, and you have execute. Execute is it's an executable file. If you don't want any user to open and do the changes, you can also remove the write permission. So to remove the write permission, you can use chmod u minus r, u minus w. Sorry. So in this way, you can give or change the permissions of the users. Sorry, the files and the folders. So the next important aspects of security is password. You should always use a strong password to increase the security of your computer. Your password should not contain names, common words, or common phrases. By default, the minimum length of password in Ubuntu is 4 characters. We recommend a password which is more than the minimum number of characters. A password with a minimum of 8 characters, which includes both upper and lower case letters, numbers, symbols, is considered as a strong password. The another important thing is locking the screen. When you leave your computer unattended, you may want to lock the screen. Locking your screen prevents other users from using your computer until your password is entered. To lock the screen, you can go to the notification area and you can click on lock switch account. So this will lock your screen. Now another aspect which is important for security is system updates. A good security happens with an up-to-date system. Ubuntu provides free software and security updates. You should apply these updates regularly. To see updates and upgrades, we've already covered this in the previous chapter, where you can go to upgrades and you can download it, you can schedule it, whatever you want. Another main important thing in any security aspect is a firewall. A firewall is an application that protects your computer against unauthorized access by people on the internet on your local network. Firewalls block connections to your computer from unknown sources. This helps prevent security breaches. Uncomplicated Firewall Ufw is the standard firewall configuration program in Ubuntu. It runs from the command line, but a program called Ufw allows you to use it in a graphical user interface. So I have this application installed. So you can install it from the software center. We have covered this in the previous chapter. Just type in GUFW and you have the firewall configuration. So this is installed. I'll go to dash and I'll open this firewall configuration. Type in the user password. So this is my firewall. By default it is turned off. I can turn it on, the firewall. So you have the profiles home, the status is on. It will by default deny all the incoming messages and it will allow all the outgoing messages. And you have the listening ports here. For a default user, if you don't have any FTP or any kind of a web server running on your system, this settings will be useful. This settings will do for you. You don't need to add any additional settings. But if you are having a web server or a FTP server, you can add rules to open and close the ports. So to add the rule, you need to click on this add button. You can allow, deny, or reject a specific application or a port. So I'll allow it. Direction can be both in and out. Category, you can select it as network. Subcategory, I'll add an FTP service here. So I'll add a port for FTP. Click on add. So here, if you close this, you can see that I have an FTP enabled. So the FTP port is 21. In this way, you can add it. If you want to remove, you can select it and you can click on the minus sign to remove the rule for FTP. So this was all which we have covered in the advanced topics. I hope this has been informative for you and I'd like to thank you for viewing. In the next chapter, we'll cover some troubleshooting steps and we'll wrap up this course.